Hey, good morning. It's Saturday morning right here in New York. And again, too, this is Operation Fine for Effect, Gene Symes. And I just like to say this, for those that don't really know what Operation Fine for Effect is all about, is that we fire with our voices. We don't use guns. We use our voices. We're the elite few of the grassroots veterans organization that doesn't have to answer to anybody, but we try to give you the facts. And we created the Coalition of Grassroots Veterans Organization since we left Washington on the July 12th of 2018. And that was Paul Dion, which says, this is a coalition veterans organization. So I said, I like that. I like that title. And that's what we named it. And you can go onto our website, offe.org, or go to Forgotten Warriors Project, or go to Veterans News Today, which that's the editor is Paul Dion, and the Wounded Warriors, not Wounded Warriors, excuse me, the Forgotten Warriors Project is Simon Alvarado out in Texas. And I'm not saying that none of these organizations are guilty of doing anything bad or whatever, but some of them just don't take that extra step that we take. And just recently, yesterday, I was on the phone with an advisor, not an advisor, but senior advisor to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. His name is Jason Beersley. Sounds like a nice gentleman, and I believe that maybe we can work around issues that we've had problems with. Because when we were in Washington again, we met in 2018 with the Oversight Committee Chief. That was Linda Davis, and assisting person was Betty Mosley, I think, something like that. And I don't want to sort of mess up her name, but I'm a bad person with names. Numbers, I'm pretty good. And I said to this two individuals at a meeting that we had a hard time trying to get in there at the Department of Veterans Affairs by hook or crook, but we made it in there. That look, we've been just put aside. Every time we try to ask somebody something, it seems like they just want to snuff us off, and I'm tired of it. And I am tired of it. And it ended up that they started snuffing me off. And when you snuff me off in our committee, I don't particularly care for that. And I let them know. But by letting them know, I guess in some ways they can't understand how I am or who I am, that I've been doing this for a while and I've been pushed around enough, and our veterans have been pushed around enough that when they try to get their word out, there's something wrong there. It's just overlooked. It's like they don't want to bother. So I'm done with that. If I'm going to write a book about being sarcastic, I'll do it, and I'll title that Operation Fine for Effect, a very sarcastic organization, and national chairman, Gene Symes. But for now, we'll leave that alone. Well, anyways, Jason Beersley this past week, I spoke to him, and I let him understand that all these issues that I just said was going on, and now I need him to listen to a veteran by the name of Jerry Bohr in Iowa, which has a problem with his disability compensation and paperwork that has been put aside and buried under the bureaucracy of what is and what isn't, because nobody wants to bother with it. And I told him what happened and how long it took to actually pull up some paperwork that was of great importance. Then he says, can you fill me in some more? Well, I let him know, look, Jason, I don't want to give you erroneous information, but I'd rather get Jerry Bohr on the line. And that's what we did. And from there, he had a conversation with him. And now we're going to see exactly what's going on. If this voice of Operation Fine for Effect, the grassroots veterans of this nation, the coalition of grassroots veterans of this nation organization, had made another step to get our voices heard. But they don't only have to be heard by the Department of Veterans Affairs. They have to be heard by our legislators, state legislators. You say, well, they're not part of the federal government. Well, look, state legislators like senators and assembly people that we call them here in New York are individuals that campaign for these individuals that are running for office. Like my Congressman Katko, John Katko, from New York. A good man, and I am glad that he got reelected because he is listening. He has listened to me. He has called us in his office. His representative, Tim Wang, has been great and very attentively listening to the issues and want to keep updated on what we're doing, and that's what I do. I keep this completely transparent, and this is what I said to Mr. Pearsley over there in Washington, D.C., the senior advisor for the Secretary, Wilkie, that everything that I say, I'm going to relate it to Congressman Katko, my representative. That's the way it is. It's time that they hear what isn't and what isn't. Any recordings that I make, voice recordings or whatever, I will share it with them so they know exactly what Gene Symes is saying or his committee is saying. Because it's time that people don't get the wrong impression that the word is not being put out there and what the needs for the veterans are. Veterans have been suffering through divorces and other issues for a long period of time. States has been just sitting back and just rubbing their hands together and collecting the money, okay, for issues that puts a veteran, whether it's a man or woman, in distress, okay, and that's going to stop, all right. So that's one. The other part is that we're looking at all these congressional people that are running for office. They want to be president of the United States. Isn't that something, you know? You know, Abraham Lincoln said a lot of things in his inaugural speech. You know, 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth to this continent one nation. He didn't call it a socialist nation. It's a nation that stands together, free individuals. You might say, well, you know, we had slaves and all that. Well, yeah, we had slaves. They had slaves way before Lincoln even came up. They had slaves during the period of Christ. I don't understand why everybody is so hip in making this country, this nation that has been freed and fought with every little bit of blood that we've had during the Revolutionary War. You know? Why do you want to make it a socialist country? You look at Venezuela, you look at other countries throughout the globe, and look at the disastrous issues that they're having. You know? We have dictators. I think, let me see, if I'm not wrong, I might be wrong. I looked it up in the Google and it says we have 49 dictators. Maybe there's more, I don't know. But do we need dictators? No. Do we need people that are as honest as they could be? Yes. We don't need individuals claiming that they want to have money for everyone. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it at all. We work very hard for our monies. And you say, well, the veterans are getting a disability compensation. Yeah, we work for that. We have performed and we earned that. Now, is this type of socialist government that we're looking at, that these representatives are talking about so much, Cortez and all these other individuals, Waters and Blase, all these, and movie stars and everybody, does that mean if we have a socialist country, United States of America, God forbid, hey, let me call on Nancy. Oh, here she is. She's back from Puerto Rico. Nancy, do you believe in a socialist country? Do you want to have a socialist country? I can't tell because, you know, she's really connected with Shumer. You know, Schumer's about 68 or 69 years old. He's not that old. But he definitely looks like he deserves to be in an old person's home, you know, a nursing home. Nancy, I heard that you dye your hair red. Is that true? All right. Is it true? Tell the folks. All right, but you're looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good. How long did you spend in Puerto Rico? Oh, that's besides the point. Okay. So we're looking at all these politicians trying to make the move to change this country into a socialist country. A lot of people don't know what it means. And if they do, they don't really get the big picture. They're not looking at what I'm looking at this morning at Venezuela. That there's a great example of what the destruction of our country is. You know, I might be wrong too. I might be looking at this all the wrong way. But I tell you what, am I frightful of having a socialist country? Yes. Can we handle that? I don't think so. I think that we were given the opportunity in this nation to be free, to get jobs, do whatever we have to do, cultivate the grounds that we grow our fruits and vegetables from, unite with farmers and find out what they need to make this a better country with food supplies, with a production of factories all over the world to work together. That we get oranges from different countries. We get this and that from different countries. But you know what? Once we have a socialist country, things can change. That's the way it is. I don't like it. I don't like it because redistribution of funds to give it to that individual is nothing more than changing our complete lifestyle. And Cortez, Congresswoman Cortez, the freshman person that was voted in, I think everybody must have been smoking pot way before she ever came aboard, you know, or snuffing something besides glue, sniffing something besides glue. It's got to be. I think we made a mistake. I think we made a mistake in how this election went. I am glad that President Trump won. But between Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Waters and Maxine Waters and all these other people and all these movie stars, they hate it because they are looking at themselves in the mirror and seeing exactly what they are, and they don't like to be called on. You know that? They don't like to be called on that. And that's what President Trump has done. Is President Trump an angel? Hell no. Am I an angel? Hell no. Any of you out there are angels? Look at yourself in the mirror. Okay? Don't claim to be an angel because somewhere along the line you must have stole a pen or took a stamp from somebody, or that person dropped a quarter, didn't even say nothing when they walked away. You picked it up and walked the other direction. Or stole a parking lot trying to push in while somebody was getting ready to go in. Yeah, look at all these things. But you know what? President Trump is doing the very best he can. And if we can't stand up and back him up the way we're supposed to, we will have a socialist country. Is he looking at the possibilities that this could happen? Deep down inside that, he knows what's happening. He's not telling you everything because you know what? There's no use telling you all this stuff. Especially the representatives that are up there, Shumer and Pelosi and what's his name, Cory Booker, the Spartacus of whatever you want to call. These people just don't want to hear anything good. And every time he says something, it's like it's bad. Bad news. The hatred has grown so large, so big in this country, that you out there don't even believe what's going on. I tell you what, you go to a coffee shop, you can't even believe what you're drinking. How do you know you're drinking Starbucks or Maxwell House or Folgers? You know? How do you know that? You know how? Because if somebody tells you that's what you're drinking and they tell it to you long enough, you're going to freaking believe it. Right? That's right. I don't want to do that. Everything that's happening right now, do your research. Check on why Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi hasn't been coming up on the air on that guy that did that phony baloney accused that he was a racial target. Why aren't they in front of the screen? Why aren't they constantly saying something against that? They're afraid because if they say something, maybe the black community, the African Americans, are going to say something and say, hey, I'm not going to vote for you because we're Democrats. But you know what? African Americans, Chinese, Spanish people, they're all people that we should love. I'm Spanish. And yes, I have maybe that much black in me, and I'm proud of it. But I'm not proud of Schumer and Nancy Pelosi keep on calling us white supremacists. Why did they use that? They want votes, that's why. Republicans out there, Democrats out there that got a brain in your head, look at the election. Look at all these individuals that want this position, what they're going to do to your government. Okay? Believe me, if this is the type of government you want, don't bother with this country. Why don't you just move to a country like North Korea or somewhere in Istanbul or in the Middle East? Why don't you do that? But don't destroy our country. A wall is needed. Nancy says, no, it's immoral. You know what's immoral? It's her having bodyguards. You know what's immoral? It's her having medication. That's immoral. You know what's immoral? It's her getting her blood pressure taken. You know what's immoral? It's Shumer looking through those phony baloney eyeglasses. And when he stands up to bend over, he looks like an ostrich. And again, true, I was corrected, but I know it's just a myth. But he should have his head in a hole somewhere, because that's what he looks like when he dips down on that podium to speak. And you people support that. You're phony balonies, man. Am I a phony baloney? You can say that too. You can say you don't want to hear me. I don't care. I don't care what my wife says. I don't care what she feels about the way I present myself in the video, because I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for somebody else. Okay? And I don't care anybody out there that knows me that doesn't care what I say. But if you do care, go to my website, go to my Facebook, look at this video and give me a comment. If you do care, just don't pass it up. Because the more that I hear who's listening and those that are opposed to what I'm saying, I like that. That's what this nation was built on. It's not a divided country. It's that everybody has a way of expressing themselves. But you're not expressing yourself when you're trying to take this government down. That's when it stops. You said, oh my God, you heard what he said. He didn't have to do this on that speech he was saying. You know what? That's right. He didn't have to say it if he would have got funded enough money. Nancy Pelosi and Chuckie Shumer. If you would have gave them the amount of money that is needed once and for all, we wouldn't be going through this. That's why he says, well, I really didn't have to do this. I didn't want to do it. But those last words, I read right through it. It meant that if you would have gave the proper amount of money for this wall, we wouldn't have to be here, and I wouldn't have to be asking money from different departments of the federal government and the agencies to make that money up that we need. And if you don't believe what's happening at the border, people, go there. Go there. And for those that think that all this is groovy and you want to do something great, move out on the other side of that wall, buy a home, and have all of these individuals that are coming from a different country to live with you. That's the whole thing. You got little kids that are listening. You think that an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 16-year-old, and even a 20-year-old understands exactly what's going on? They're being freaking snowed. Being freaking snowed by our representative. Those individuals that hate Trump so bad. Those individual movie stars that are making movies and plant that seed so you can believe what's happening. That keeps you at the edge of the seat. It's time that we stand up, veterans. We fought in Vietnam. We fought World War I. We fought during the Revolutionary War. We fought as one. We didn't recognize that bullet as being a left or a right. But when we stood for what we believed and know that this country has to be free from anything that's going on that could destroy it, we have to stand together. And having a socialist country is not something that we want to live in. At least I don't. And I won't vote for it. You don't get my vote, my friends, on that. Did I vote for Clinton when he ran? I think I did. Did I vote for Obama when he ran? Yes, I think I did too. Did I vote for Bush? I think I did too. Did I vote for all these people? I think I placed a vote in there. But you know what? I give everybody a chance. But when you see that chance is not doing anything good for this nation, you say it's time to change. I've been in the elevator with Senator Obama once, with 6 other Jewish war veterans while I was in Washington one time. And one veteran by the name of Bob Fink turned around and said, "You know who that is?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, that's Senator Obama." I said, "Really?" He turned around and said, "Senator Obama, how you doing?" Senator Obama stood in the corner of that elevator, didn't even make a move, didn't even look at us, ignored us. Had his hands between his crotch, clapped, and as soon as that elevator stopped, he was on his way out. And then when they addressed it again, "Have a great day," he never even turned around to even acknowledge that. That's when I made my change. And that's what these representatives are when they don't listen to you, when they brush you off, when you try to get help, they ignore you, they snuff you out. And when you try to let your voice be heard, all of a sudden you become arrogant. Sorry about that. Nancy, am I really arrogant? Do you really feel that I'm arrogant? Tell me. You don't? Thank you so much. You know, I don't hate you. I just think you need help, okay? You and Chuckie. Listen to what is out there. Let's make a better nation. Let's stand together, okay? Face up to it. President Trump is doing a good job and you don't like it because he is doing a good job. He's using ideas that you guys haven't even thought of. You don't like the idea of North Korea even having a conversation with Trump. You don't like a conversation with China with Trump. You don't like a conversation with the Russian president with Trump. You don't like a conversation if he was having a conversation with a bagel. You wouldn't like it. Give me a break, Nancy. Give me a break, okay? Just give me a break. Go back to Puerto Rico. Get a vacation. Bye. Okay, thank you for listening. Saturday morning, and this is how I feel. Operation Find for Effect. I hope you do exactly what I ask you, if you would, please. Take a view of this video. If you like it, good. If you don't, tell me. But don't just let it sit there dormant, because it's not. When that becomes dormant, everything else becomes dormant. Look in the mirror. How bad really is it? How good can you make this country? Should we be divided? Let's back our President of the United States. Whether you like it or not, he's doing the job that nobody else is doing. Okay? And he's taking the heat for it every minute. All right? If he walked on water, you said, "Oh my God, he's making believe it's Christ." If he swam across the ocean, you said, "Oh my God, he should be taking a boat." No matter what he does, it's not good enough for Nancy and Chuckie and Cory Booker and Maxine Waters and all these movie stars. Have a great day. I hope you enjoy this film. Please look at it and give me your comments. Let me know if you like it or not. Let me know if I'm on the right track. I'm not going to change my views. I stand for my country. God bless you, and God bless the Marine Corps. Semper Fi.